Okay. Live. Always fun. If you're watching this live and you're wondering why I'm streaming on a Tuesday, I posted about that recently on my blog. I'm moving my streams to Tuesdays now, about the same time, just because I've got some stuff happening on Fridays now that I need to be available for. But I will post this to my YouTube channel on Mondays as usual. So if you watch me there, this doesn't affect you. I am busy with some updates. I have these two repositories, this Abilities test repository and the MCP server demo repository. And I kind of want to update the two of them. Basically, there's been a whole bunch of updates to the Abilities API and the MCP adapter recently. And so I want to update these repos to use the latest and greatest code. MCP adapter, I'm going to have to update to... hey, thanks. I don't know if I would say I'm the GOAT, but I try. So I don't know how to do it. Toyoistav. Satav, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I don't think I'm the GOAT. Definitely not. Anyway, what I was saying was, I want to update to the MCP server demo to use the dev trunk version of the MCP adapter, because there was a pretty big update to that yesterday, but they haven't released version, whatever the latest next version is. There was also a big Abilities API update recently. Literally yesterday they released version 3 of that. So I kind of want to get the MCP server demo up to at least the latest and greatest as of today. And then I'll probably update it again once the MCP adapter gets updated. And then I want to update the Abilities test project to make sure that still works using the latest version of the Abilities API. I think it might still work. I'm not sure, but I need to check. So the plan today is to do that using GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to set up the repositories locally, see what's broken, see what needs to change, and then tell GitHub Copilot to do it. I'm going to try and work on two repositories at the same time, which is going to be interesting. So that's the plan. We'll see how that goes. So I have Studio installed locally with a WordPress install. It's running 6.8.3. I already have the Abilities API plugin code installed, which I don't need because I want to use it via Composer. So I'm going to delete that for now. We're in a stage where we're using the old MCP adapter, not with the Abilities API, since it's not part of WP Core yet. Curious to see what issues you're going to run into. Do you mean, when you say not part of Core, do you mean the MCP adapter or the Abilities API? Because the MCP adapter, I don't think will ever become part of Core. I don't see it becoming something that becomes part of Core. Abilities API, they're trying to get it merged with Core. In 6.9, there's a whole conversation. Oh, okay. Yes, there is a whole conversation around that. I'm going to see if I can find that track ticket. Here it is. So this is the track ticket. If you want to follow it, I'll paste it into the chat. And that's where everything is happening. And hopefully this will get resolved before 6.9. It might not. It might get pushed to 7.0. But that's where we're at with that. Okay, so let me get back here to. So I'm going to start with my Abilities test package plugin, just because I think it's the easiest. So I'm going to clone that out. Experiments content plugins. I also think it needs a README file, so I'm going to pop that in as well while we're here. So while that's happening, let's create an issue, and let's say new issue. create repository. And I'll let GitHub Copilot go off and do that. Okay. Oh yes, I want to clean up this Abilities API folder here. Don't think I'm going to need this. I want to load everything from Composer if I can. Okay, so that's my WP Abilities test. That should be there now. There it is. Okay. So let's go and have a look here. Okay, WP Abilities test is there. So let me have a look at the composer.json. Okay. So this is not currently using... Okay, so this currently requires the Abilities API to be installed separately. I'm going to make this a composer requirement. So let's go and do this. Okay, just Abilities API. See if it'll find it. Yeah, there it is. So, oh, that's the MCP adapter. That's what I want. Word, hang on. Place. Teams. It's spelled today. No packages found. That sounds like a load of nonsense. Just definitely added to packages at some point. Hey, Cameron! Can I, every time I forget that I'm on my Mac, I forget how Control-C and Control-E works. Why is the package not on Packagist? It was at one point. Or am I losing my mind? Hang on. Why is it not finding it? Just clear. Ah, there it is. That's annoying. I must have had some filter enabled that I didn't see. Okay, so let's go back to, where was I? Here we are. Okay, so let's go create another issue for this, and let's say new issue. How would I describe this? Use as a composer dependency. Make it require. Okay, let's create that. And let's assign that to Copilot and see what it comes up with. Okay. See if there's any pull requests to review yet. Okay, it's still in draft. So one thing that it looks like it is done, requested review. So I think this is ready to go. But obviously leaves it in draft. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, this all looks good. So I'm going to mark it as ready and merge it. Honestly, one of my favorite things about using AI is to create documentation, which I can then tweak. I don't care too much about how good the README is right now, at least it's just there. So let's see. Yeah, now we have a README file. Yay! Okay, let's check out the next one. Let's see what it's done. Okay, looks like it's still started work. It's still working. So while that's doing that, I'm going to set up this one. So this is quite a cool little issue. I did this in my last stream, where you can actually create a new issue that sets up Copilot instructions, and then it uses this template. I would love to make a note of this for myself somewhere, because I want to try. I want to try and create this a public guest. I want to test out a project where not again. Where I start it by setting up the Copilot instructions, give the instructions some context, WordPress plugin, blah blah blah, and then see what it does. So that's for a future stream. For now, let's create this and let's assign it. It's already assigned. I wonder why it gets assigned automatically. Maybe when it created the issue, it automatically assigned it. Anyway. Okay, let's see if this is done. Still busy. Come on now. What's this thing still doing? Now this is annoying, because all I wanted this thing to do was to add it as a composer dependency, which is literally like one line. It's going through this whole thing. So I'm going to stop this nonsense. I'm going to do it manually myself. Sometimes it's just better to do it yourself. So let's close that. And let's delete this one. Okay, so let's just do it the old-fashioned way. These things used to... Oh, there it is. There's the cry. There it is. Sometimes you just can't beat a good old-fashioned command. Terminal command. Let's just test. Done. Okay, so that'll sort that out. Just want to check something here. Got that, I've got my scripts, it's fine. There's the page, there's the admin page. Debug status. Okay, so I should now be able to, got my vendor. There's WordPress, there's Abilities API. Ooh, one thing I just realized, oh, it is in dev. Okay, so that's fine. So that's fine. Okay, cool. Okay, this should work. Let's see. Let me make sure I've got my debug on. Experiments. So the plan was to multitask, and I'm actually not multitasking right now. I'm working on one thing, so I can't actually multitask. So let's do some multitasking. So what I want to do now is I want to let this go off and multitask. So this one I've told it to use. So let's update that. Okay. So let's create an issue for that, and let's say update the composer JSON dependencies to use newer versions of certain packages. So here I'm going to go composer, so I want WordPress Abilities API version 0.30. How does it look? I actually need to know what I'm doing, so I'm going to just copy this out. And then I want to see if this can handle this. So I'm actually going to give it the GitHub WordPress MCP adapter, use the latest trunk from that. And I want to see if I can actually figure that out. From that. I want to see if that works. Okay, so that's all I'm going to give it. And I'm going to assign that to Copilot, let Copilot go off and do its thing. And then I'm going to test out my test here. Okay, let's go back to this. So let's activate this. Okay. Let's see if this works. That looks broken, and I think I know why. So let's refresh. Let's just see if there's anything in the console. Nothing in the console. Let's check the debug logs. Here we go. Okay, uncaught error, class ability not found in line 83. Okay. Set line it. Oh wait. Got one thing. Need to load the autoloader. Always forget about that. So I'm going to say I've done this somewhere before. I did this in an earlier version of something. I think it was the server demo. Just yeah, here we go. I'm just going to use this. I'm not going to get the AI agent to do this because it's going to take too long. There we go. Okay. So now we should get it to work. Just check if there's any new errors. Let me just go log. Refresh the page. All good. Okay. Must have a category. Okay, so that's an error I expected. So, if you don't know what that's all about, recently the Abilities API was updated to require a category. So when you register an ability, you need to register a category first. So I'm going to now give this off to GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to say Here we go. Okay, let's see what the Copilot instructions have done. Then we can just pull those in. Okay, let's have a look here. GitHub Copilot plugin, context, file structure, coding standards. Okay, PHP, JavaScript. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. I need to update that based on what we just did, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna pull that in quickly. Okay, so we need to make some changes here quickly. So let's first do a git all. Okay, I guess it's all of that. And let's go git commit say adding dependency. Also uses the auto loader. Okay. Okay, so that sorts that out. So now, I'm just going to check how many abilities do we have registered. One debug status ability, and then in the JavaScript there is an alert user ability. So let's create a category called testing abilities, and then we'll tell Copilot it needs to fix that for us. So we'll take this and we will say all abilities require a category. Okay. Let's go steps. Use the PHP API to PHP Abilities API to register a new category. Test abilities. Okay. Sure all current abilities belong to that category. I think that's all it needs. Spelled documentation wrong. Hopefully it's able to read that reference. So let's do that. Okay, so let's assign that off to Copilot. And let's go over to MCP adapter and see what it did with my issue. So what I tell it to do, I told it to update that. So let's go and have a look at the pull request. I told you I'm going to try multitasking today. If you're not following, don't worry, neither am I. Okay, let's see what it's done. Is it still working? It looks like it's still working on this one. Update composer generation in terms of update composer div trunk. Test the composer install works with the new dependencies. That's probably taking the time right now. Verify the plugin still loads. I wonder if I told it not to do those things, whether it would have just done the updates. Anyway, I'll let it carry on and do its thing. Let's go and see what it's doing quickly, where it is right now. 7 minutes has been thinking. Before it's ever from GitHub API. Just not happy with all of that. Ooh, it can't handle, it doesn't know how to do that. I mean, that should work. So GitHub API is rate limited GitHub Copilot. That's annoying. Because it looks like it updated everything correctly, but it's struggling at the steps where I told it to do the tests. So let's stop this session and let's go back one step and let's say update blah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So let's go back to the issue. Update. Okay. So let's edit. First of all, let's unassign Copilot. Okay. And then let's add a note and say, do not test that the update, do not test the installation of the dependency requirements. Do that. Good. So if we save that and assign it back to Copilot, then hopefully it'll not try and do all the things that it was doing. So let us close that. Okay, here we go. Here's a new one. No, is that the new one? Yeah, that's the closed one. There's that. There we go. At the same time, let's set up compose instructions for that. Okay. Okay, let's see how far this has gotten with categories. That's still working as well. I feel like I need to tell Copilot not to test this stuff out. Oh, it's still trying to figure out how categories work. Stupid thing. I gave you the documentation! Okay, well, it's finding, at least it's finding it in the code. Stupid thing. It's not gonna, it is actually finding it. It's actually finding it in the, but I gave you the docs, you daft thing. I wonder if there's a way to GitHub Copilot Coding Agent provide documentation as context. I would have had to add the docs to the project, which it's interesting. I wish that was something that you could do. You could specify this is a documentation link, and then it knows what to do with it. That would be very cool. Checking my phone quickly because my phone just buzzed and I want to see what it's all about. SMS by the looks of it. Nothing important. Okay, so this is the part in the vibe coding streamer's life where he sits and waits for the agent to finish doing whatever it's doing. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got adding a category there. We've got the pull request for that. We've got the composer JSON there. Ooh, it's finished. I can review. Yay! Let's have a look. Okay, so Abilities API 3.0, good. WordPress dev trunk, VCS. Okay, that should work. So let's check that out. So I'm going to pull that. I kind of need to have 2 WordPress sites to test all this out on. So maybe it's time to do that. Don't know. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to need to do. So let's let me think about this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add an MCP site. I'm going to name these after the things that I'm working on. Now this is probably where it would be useful to have this like automatically running, or tests, having tests in place will probably fix this. Yeah, anyway. So we say this is an MCP demo, MCP server demo. Yeah. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll pull the MCP code into that one. Still don't know if this is true multitasking because kind of doing this, focusing on one thing while other things are running off in the background. But I guess it counts. Okay, so let's compose and install this. Let's see if that did the trick. I'm going to open that up in VS Code so you can have 2 different IDEs happening. Okay, let's see if it's installed everything correctly. There's the Abilities API, there's the MCP adapter. Alright. So my abilities are probably going to have to change as well. Okay, this is where my brain starts falling over because I can't actually keep track of these 2 different things in my head. So let's go back to the category tests. It's still working by the looks of it. Yeah, it's still working, so we can't get back there yet. Okay, let's see what issues we find with the server demo. We're going to need plugin check installed on here as well. Okay, so that's all working. The site's still busy being built by the looks of it. I don't know if I've broken this now. Oh, there we go. Okay, let us change to that site. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so the demo is active. I am seeing, here we go. So these abilities are not existing. Now, with the MCP adapter, there were some updates to the transport layer. Now it just uses the HTTP transport class. Where are we? Yeah, that's all changed. So I think it's just that. I think it's just that changes. Error handling, infrastructure observability. Error handling, error log, MCP error handler. Observability and null, MCP observability handler. That all seems the same. So the only change is the transport class. So let's see if that fixes that issue. Okay, we're still getting issues. And I think one of the problems with that is also the category situation. So I'm going to need to do the same thing on this server demo. So I'm going to come back to that. Let's see what the category for test abilities is doing. Okay, here we go. So it's added a new testability category to group all test-related abilities. Okay. Updated debug and plugin alert. Updated the README. Added git ignore. Didn't ask us to do that, but okay. Oh, it actually reckons it followed the documentation, which is interesting. Okay. So let's have a look at the code. Okay, git ignore, that's fine. README. Category, blah, blah, blah. Abilities test, so it adds. That's wrong. Because, I'll show you now why. You're supposed to use the Abilities API category in it. So this is the joy of working with very up-to-date code. So that's fine. I will leave Copilot a comment. Okay, the rest should be fine. That should be fine. That should be fine. Okay, so it's just that change, as far as I can tell. All right. One, please update the. Why am I saying please? Update the category registration hook. Okay. So let's submit that, and hopefully Copilot goes off and does that for me, which is great. Let's go back to the server demo. What pull request do we have open? Okay, let's add the instructions for this. I'm going to very quickly just scan through this. It all looks pretty solid. So I'm going to just merge that. When it comes to things like Copilot instructions, that is usually pretty good. If I pick anything up that it's a problem, I'll change it. But I'm kind of happy with that. Hey Troy! good morning, good afternoon. What's it? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world, or something like that. I used to say. I stole that from Truman Show. But hey, Troy. Cameron says, I had a work experience kid with me for a week a few months ago, and watching you wrestle with Copilot gives me the same vibes. you made me choke there. It's kind of what it's like. You know, you kind of you've got a junior who, excuse me, you've got a junior who's got theoretical knowledge, but not the practical experience to implement it. So that's why it's great for documentation updates. I use AI extensively for documentation updates, for changes where things are documented correctly, for things that have been done multiple times before, like GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions are my favorite thing to give off to an AI agent, because like we've been doing GitHub Actions for years and years and years, and it's a YAML file, and it's, you know, it's a certain set of inputs, and it generates a certain set of things, or does a certain set of steps, or whatever. Stuff like that, I love farming off to AI. But anything new, anything that, you know, hasn't been well documented or isn't around for a long period of time, you got to slap it around a bit. Yeah, using it to build docs and then using those docs as context. Absolutely. I do that all the time. I don't mind sharing this because this was funny to me, but I had a, let me find it here. I find this pull request. It's this one. I generated a complete documentation example. So it was essentially showing an example of how to add or how to use the ability class argument when registering an ability. And then you can specify a custom ability class. And I generated it using Claude. I think it was Claude. Submitted it as a work in progress, as a draft, and then 2 people reviewed it. And the comments were generally minor. There was one big change that I was going to do anyway, that I picked up that I wasn't going to include. But the rest were all minor changes that I just had to go through and tweak and fix. So, yeah, documentation, you know, telling it to read the code base, generate the instructions file, and then build documentation from that process. Love using AI agents for that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, where were we? That's been merged. So let's go back to, okay, so the server demo doesn't have any more issues, but it's definitely got bugs, that's for sure. Let's see if the agent fixed this thing. Start, okay, so it's still busy with that. Okay. So let's try the same thing here, because I'm pretty sure that the reason the server demo is failing is the same problem as the other one. It doesn't have any categories registered. So I'm going to try, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the categories registration. I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to grab the whole section on categories. And I'm going to pop it into an issue. So add a MCP server demo category for all abilities. So I'm going to say from the Abilities API docs. All abilities must have a category argument. Create a MCP server demo category and apply it to all abilities. Demo abilities. Okay. The reviewers also AI. I've done that. I've I've generated code or docs or whatever using Claude Code and then gotten GitHub Copilot to review it for me. That's also fun. Oh, this is not working. Oh, it's because it's got. Okay, let's take this out. Let's take that out. There. And let's take this out. See copy of the documentation below. I don't even know if I need that, but I'm going to pop it in. I need to figure out the right way to give. I suppose I could. Ooh, I could add a. Okay, that I can do. That I can do. So what I'm going to do. That I can do. Paste, drop, and click to add files. Just download this. I should have it somewhere on my machine, but I'm just going to download it to my desktop for now. And I'm going to add it there. Failed to upload? What? Can you not add MD files? Oh, you stupid piece of nonsense. That's annoying. Okay, I'm just going to link it again. I don't care. Copilot needs to get clever. It needs to be able to read that MD file. My opinion. I wonder if I give it a link to the raw option. I think that's a better way to do it. Maybe I'll use that better. Okay. Sign that. Alright. Let's see if this has been fixed. Abilities API category in it, that looks right. Okay. So we could double check on that one. Okay, that looks good. Probably could have done it quicker myself. I feel like I could have done it quicker myself. But anyway. Back here. Ooh, what's interesting is it's added the... No, that is right. It should add the vendor to the get ignore. Yeah, no, that is right. I need to add that to the final plugin if I'm going to use it. Okay, let's see if that's working now. Now that we have a category, it should work. Fingers crossed. Nope. Okay. Debug status not found. Interesting. So it wasn't the categories that was the problem. I wonder what the problem was. Okay, so there's the category. There's the debug status ability. I wonder if there's something in the JavaScript that I missed. Okay, so let's do a quick test. So let's say can't find paste anywhere in the place. Ah. Just realized you can't see what I'm typing there because my shell window is hiding behind my terminal's hiding behind my picture. So let's do it there. Okay, so that gets the ability. And then if we say ability, right, if we say results equals ability execute, couldn't spell, permissions. Oh, because I'm not set as the user. If I'm in the shell, I need to set wp set, I think it's current. Oops. Yeah, wp set current user. So wp set current user is 1. And now if we execute the ability, we get the result. So the ability is registered in PHP and is working in PHP. So this is something to do with the JavaScript side of things. I'm on the wrong thing here. Okay, so there's no, let me just refresh here. There's no errors in the debug log. So the PHP side is everything's fine. So it's something in the JavaScript. Get that abilities, my plugin, debug status, not found. Why is it not finding it on the front? Okay. Let's just see something here. Oh, go away. I hate the fact that spammers have put us in a world where we have to allow pasting in the console. Ability not found. Okay, there were some recent updates to, but it was category updates. Let me go back here. Interesting. I think something has broken. I think something has broken. Interesting. Now, here's the annoying part. Recently, I discovered that Studio has a bug. And it's in the latest version of Studio. And external authenticated REST API requests were failing. Now, I'm wondering if that's the problem. I don't think it is, though, because I am internal. So let's do this. Think. I have to update this slightly for my horrible old school PHP. Thanks, Troy. Have a good one. I think that's right. Oh, wait, what am I doing? There, that's what I need to do. Okay. And then let's do... So it will be... will be WPV2 abilities, blah blah blah. Let me just get that. Where are we there? JSON v2. Just check this. Ugh. Abilities. That's going to give me an error. It's fine. Okay, let's just see what happens there. Yep, no abilities. That's interesting. I think there's a bug. So it's either with Studio or it's a bug in the Abilities API. Now, the only way I'm going to figure this out is if I switch over to my workstation, which has something else set up and configured for local environments. It uses a basic LAMP stack. I'm running on Ubuntu. And test it that way. So I'm going to put this on hold for now Go back here. See, do I have any new issues? It's all closed. Okay, so I'm going to have to put this on hold, and I'm going to have to dive into whether or not this is a bug in Studio or a bug in the Abilities API. If it's a bug in the Abilities API, that's cool. I'll go back and I'll log it to Abilities API. So I'm going to close this one down for now, and I'll have a look at this on my workstation. So let's turn that side off, turn that off, turn that off, and that off, and that off. And let's continue with the server demo to see if we can get that fixed at least. Okay, so let's see what the demo category's done. This looks ready for review. Yeah, okay. Created category server demo to register the category. Use the right hook. Well done. You've learned. I wonder if it learned from the last time I did it. That's interesting. Maybe it's because of the way I linked the doc. Maybe because I linked the raw version of the doc. That could be interesting. Adds categories. Off we go. All right. So let's check the code. Category server demo. That's fine. It's the category. It's just inside the include. I'm fine with the way that is for now, to be perfectly honest. Registers the category. All good. Includes the file. Happiness, really. It's demo code. I couldn't care less. Okay, so let's review and merge that. Okay, so where were we? So we can exit out of here, and we can exit out of there. We can go back here, and we can... Wait, wrong one. Oh, what modifications did I make locally? Oh, I changed the transport class. Okay, so let's push that. Oh, I really need to sort out my branch naming. Okay, let's do it first. Git pull minus rebase. Move or remove, attract blah blah, rn minus remove. Cached, close a lock. Good kick away. Oh. Oh, wait, it's git rm minus cached. Compose. Oh, it's a name. Okay, whatever. Just, I don't care about the lock file, we could recreate it. I thought we deleted the lock file. Stupid thing. Let's go. Okay, done. Alrighty, let's see what that does. So now we can change back to MCP server demo. Let's clear out the log. Let's see if this is working now. Okay, we're not getting any errors, which is great. That's good. That's excellent. So now let's test if we can connect. So let's go to users. Let's go and create application password, MCP connection. Okay, let's copy that out. And while we're here, let's create Let's create a new folder. Here's code. JSON. And now I need to remember the configuration for this. I'm not going to be here. Oh, there it is. Ooh, local sites. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. So this was actually something that somebody asked me about at WordCamp US, about whether it would be possible to use standard input output locally. And this is a much better way to do it locally on a local site. So I want to see if this works. So in VS Code it's just servers. Just delete that one. Don't need it. We'll call this MCP server demo. Okay, path to your WordPress site we need. Server, MCP adapter default server. I don't know if that matters. Let's see. That worked. Cool. So, to whoever the person was who asked me about this at WordCamp US, I hope you're listening, because it is now currently possible to do this using standard input output on the machine without having to use the proxy. The HTTP transport by proxy. That's really cool for local dev. I need to talk about that more. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, let's see if we can query those tools. What tools do we have? Let's see here. MCP server demo, discover abilities, execute ability, get ability info. This is not picking up my custom abilities. Interesting. Let me close this down. Oh, that's the adapter, so I wonder if that's the namespace. So I wonder if I give it my namespace. Oh, that was the custom. That was the custom. That was this. Okay. Just go back here. So this should now work. If I pop that in there, no, get an error. Oh, MCP server is not registered. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's interesting. So this uses WP CLI. And the three tools it can fetch, it can use, there's a way that it can, so it can discover abilities. Okay. So let's see. What are all the abilities available for this MCP server? I wonder if it's this. MCP adapter default server. Bet you it's that. Your custom server ID. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. Cheers, Cameron. So you have to bail, man. So it's custom. So let's call this. Let's call this MCP server. MCP default adapter server. Let's call it the name of the server. And then the custom server ID. This is all going to stop working, so I'm going to just pause this one because I'm busy coding up a storm here. The server ID is this one, totally MCP server. This stays the same. I bet MCP adapter probably stays the same. Okay, so let's start that one. 3 tools there. Let's start that one. There's an error there. Interesting. Interesting. No, it's not going through the code. Stupid thing. Server ID namespace. I wonder if it's just a case of I don't need the custom server. Just need default server. Discover all available WordPress abilities. List all available WordPress abilities. See what that does. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, it looks like the same, but our stuff's not quite working yet. Okay. Let's try the old-fashioned way. Now this might not work because of the same issue as the WordPress REST API business. Okay, let's try it the old-fashioned way. See if I can get it to work. Okay, so let's call it MCP server demo. Have an extra thing here. Oh, there we go. Right. What? Why? There, it's better. Okay. The other thing I'm going to need here. Fine, this is a better workaround for fixing the whole multiple versions of npx install problem. Okay, so my site is this one. Let's actually just create the JSON. Need to abilities. What's this thing called? What's this? I think it's just that, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Why is this turned off now? Oh, it's probably because I installed something. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so it's that, and then MCP. Yeah, so I'll do this. MCP. And then also I'm probably going to need there's a thing. I seriously need to solidify all these issues with it. Okay, so I'm not going to go to logs right now. Username is admin. Save password. No, let's do that. Profile. Okay, let's see if this still works. I'm not getting tools for some reason. So something's changed in the way abilities are registered or something. User ID does not have capability to read. Okay, it looks like my code is working, but some things have changed, so I'm going to have... Well, my code is working. It looks like some things have changed, and I'm going to have to update accordingly. So I'm going to have to go do some digging around all this, because I don't know why these things are not doing what they should do. But basically, the two things I need to fix are the test plugin, why it's not showing up on the front end, and then registering my MCP server. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to call it a day now. I will go off and fiddle with these things. I'm going to test this out on my workstation first. Just see why those things aren't working. For now, I'm just going to make sure that everything is... What is going on here? Oh, I'm in the plugin. Make sure everything is committed. Yeah, I'm just going to commit that. And hopefully by next week I can get these things figured out. Get this code updated, because I really don't want to have to keep fiddling with this going forward. So that's it for me for this week. Thank you for joining me try and figure out why my code doesn't work. This is the one downside about working with stuff that's on the cutting edge, is it breaks. You have to test it. So I'm going to go off and test those things on my workstation tomorrow, see if I can figure it out. Get those repos updated. And next week I'll be back doing something. I have no idea what yet. I generally don't pick my topics. I just stream whenever I'm working on at the time. So I will see you next week, or I'll see you on YouTube. That's about it. Have a great week. Bye.